Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Empire Total War 2 mod. A highly requested mod, almost as much as Napoleon Total War 3. And so Empire was freed up and it's time to do a campaign. Through the voting system we decided we're going to play France and we're going to play an early campaign. In terms of submods and so on, I've got the Bran Macborn submod to increase the abilities of the AI on the battlefield. And I'm also going to have 40 stacks, so we're going to have armies that instead of the normal 20 we're going to have 40 units. I've also gone ahead and increased the unit size from about 150 to 300, so we doubled the unit size. With that said, you know what? Let's go in and start our French campaign. As the overall goal of this campaign, I'm thinking something similar that we have sort of done before, where we did what we did with Poland, where we did a reverse partition, where we partitioned the partitioners, Russia, Prussia and Austria. So I'm thinking we're going to do something similar here, where we're going to usurp what Britain did during the 1700s. So we're going to conquer India, we're going to conquer North America, we're going to be this colonial empire. We're not going to let the British, kick us around and diminish our power. We are France after all, the original power. And so in the last moments of the campaign I'm thinking we're gonna take London, but before then we have quite a few hurdles ahead of us. Now it may not sound all nice and dandy to go ahead and, bring down the British and so on. I should actually add to the main quest of taking down Britain and taking over their empire status, or their vast global empire status, I should say. In addition to that, I think we've got sub-goals, which is to diminish the other colonial powers as well. Mainly, I'm thinking about the Dutch and the Spanish. Now, the Spanish is our allies right now, but, stuff like that can change rather quickly. So, and one thing that will change rather quickly is our ability to achieve this, because right off the bat, the Netherlands are actually going to declare war on us, which seems rather odd, but they are going to do that. Then the British will declare war on us, which is no surprise, because they outnumber us in ships and manpower in North America. So it's going to be quite difficult, actually, for us to go ahead and fight here. But I have a plan. So first and foremost, we got quite the sizable force down here. Unfortunately for me, it's not actually within range of my enemies. Now, to march to British territory that we can actually attack, now I'm pre-planning because the war will start pretty darn soon. The only real close way would be to get on a ship and go through here and land in Charleston. However, the British fleet is all kind of over this area, so there's a high risk of that. The other route, we can march through Spanish territory because they're our allies, but we can't get through here because that's held by the Cherokee Nation. So then the other route would be all the way up through here, all the way through here. What's this area? That's, I guess we could attack this one and go through there to get to Moose Factory. But I'm thinking what we're going to do here instead is, we're going to delete them. No, actually, now I made a mistake. I already made a mistake. Damn it. What I was planning was, the thing is, here we got Farm at Lafayette. I can't access it for some god-awful reason, like it's maybe it's because we don't have roads, actually. If I build roads, will we see through the territory then? Maybe that's a mechanic. Anyways, I should have taken a cavalry unit out just to discover this, so I could start building sugar here. And the sugar is really good for trade. Unfortunately, a lot of the AI seems to be thing with this mod that they made it difficult. Maybe because of the difficulty, they made it difficult to start trade agreement, even with people that are really friendly towards you. So in terms of the large nations, everyone that is really friendly is already trading with us. But like the Papal States, we got 97. You would think they would agree to trade, but no. Actually, one thing that I will test is trade with Prussia. Prussia wants an alliance. Now Prussia is going to go directly into war with Poland, and that's actually not too bad. The worst thing is the payment. I'm not intending to pay that much this early to get a trade agreement. And I think it's similar with everyone. The Ottomans are a little bit cheaper. They are enemies with Russia. It's very unlikely that, you know, Russia will come against us. And we don't really care about stuff that far away. But it's still, I don't want to pay that much. However, selling to the Ottomans would make a lot of money in the long run. So, you know what? I'll accept. We'll do a gamble here. Like, what? How much more trade? Like, trade income has increased quite a bit. So we're making almost 5,000 at this point. Actually, we'll go over to trade to see what we make from the Ottoman Empire. That was actually a good deal, because we make almost 2,000. That's going to increase. If I'd be able to actually have a cavalry unit to get sugar here, we could increase that even more. A lot of it is due to the size of the nation, because the Ottomans are a huge nation, and so we can make a lot of money. Second largest nation after the Ottomans would be the Mughal Empire. So let's see what the Mughal Empire wants for trade. They also want military alliance, and they want money as well, 2,700. Now remember what we made from the Ottomans. We made 2,000 income in trade from them. So we will make it back in like 1 or 2 turns if we can keep it. Military alliance, I mean, we can join their wars, because, I mean, I don't really care about, you know, the people they fight. So that's fine. Let's see what we make from these guys. Mughal Empire, not as much, and we lost a bit from the Ottoman because, you know, we're splitting up. We're not selling as much sugar, so it would have been nice if I could actually get that sugar. Oh, they put slaves in. What trade resource have they removed and replaced it with slaves? Kind of seems odd, almost unnecessary to add such a thing. When we go through here, one of the things that I want to do is we want to open up for a lot of new possibilities. So we got the 4th guy in, his 4th star. So he increased from the 3-star guy we had before, and now it opens up the entire candidate slot, so we'll get more candidates in the long run. So that's set up. The fleet needs to organize itself, go over there. So right now we're making almost 6,000 per turn. The spy should be heading towards the Netherlands. The priest, proper France, isn't that much of a problem for me, so I'm gonna send the priest over to this region, which actually is a bit of a problem. And we're gonna send the troops over there. This army will already be marching towards the fort, and will organize the rest of the troops at the fort. I'll go through a little bit of my plan in terms of the troops. What I would like would be to have some units that are able to withstand the melee onslaught of pikemen, but I don't think there really is one, because I can't recruit pikemen. However, we're gonna build a drummer squadron, because they give good morale and it's gonna look pretty cool. Then I guess we just get some extra infantry. Actually, we're not too much infantry, because I still have some things that I want to build We're gonna wait with that one. I actually want a pottery there. For North America, one thing that I want is the mine over there, but that's too expensive right now. But we're gonna build this one. We don't need a church here. We're turning these heathens into Catholics as a rather fast pace. Now I remove the army down here because I intend to rebuild it in this area. The thing is, the British are probably gonna take this, but when they come across, because they're allied with the Algonquin, I can use my navy to block these access points. So I'm hoping I can kind of troll the AI by blocking this one first. They head over here, I block this one, they head over there. So I can kind of keep them going back and forth in that manner. But that's what we got going for North America. Now I probably wouldn't have recruited troops and built sugar here instead so we could get more money. 6,000 is what we get now. We're not going to get any trade deal on the cheap. We're probably going to have to pay or sign alliances for the rest of them. Or maybe the overall attitude might have changed for a lot of people. Now when I don't have as much money. Yes, look at that. Now the Prussians offer, they demand technology, military alliance, but they're gonna give me money instead. That's fine. So we got them trading with them. Austrians unfriendly. One of our rivals in mainland Europe besides the, well, both German nations really. But I don't think they're gonna be much of a problem. Let's see what the Pope thinks. No. He's kind of dropped in... Ah, yes, because we've got alliance with enemies. I do think, though, that it's not going to be a problem in the long run, just because I don't care about breaking the alliance. The breaking the alliance isn't gonna... Venice. Sure. We're gonna set up as many trade deals as possible. Now we make 7,000. Almost 8,000 per turn. We're gonna build mighty armies and mighty ships. With that, we got troops recruited, armies moving, everything set up. The only thing I'm missing is technology, and canister is definitely a game changer, so we're gonna go for that. Alternative is square formation, but the thing is, in Empire, square formation is not like Napoleon. When cavalry charges square Napoleon, first of all, the square is formed almost immediately. And immediately upon clicking the button, as soon as you click that, it basically becomes like a two magnets going against the, like, two positive sides of a magnet going against each other. Like, they literally can't actually attack it. In Empire, they can attack it. They'll ride through it. They'll do whatever. But at the same time, cavalry is not as strong. And what I've found out from test playing this is that melee infantry is really strong. So it's going to be down to our pikemen for a lot of this. Or at least to deal with the Dutch pikemen. We've gone through everything. We've gone through a lot. And so, it's high time to end turn. We got a trade deal for us. The Austrians want a technology, and they're gonna pay us 840. Normally, I wouldn't trade away technology to an enemy, but in this case, I don't think this bastard has much to do against us. So instead, I'm gonna agree to it. Right, an ally is attacked. No wonder, because I have so many allies. It's the Austrians who declare war on the Ottoman Empire. I am not gonna enter on the Ottoman side, so we're gonna break the alliance. And here comes the Dutch. Will I call in my allies? No, I don't think so. I'm not really interested in getting all of these involved in the war. So we're not going to call them in, and no one comes to join the Dutch either. It's a square 1 versus 1. The Manhattan Confederacy, this is the kind of trade deal I like. They just offer trade agreement and they offer me money. This is how it should be. Smaller states pay tribute to the Sun King. Obviously, it's not very nice to break alliances, and it's gonna affect my standing in the world, but it's the first turn. That's gonna change as we go along, and they're gonna hate me anyways, because I'm gonna conquer a lot of territory. So they might as well hate me already. So we've got recruitment report from France. We've got war declared, Sweden and Russia. Sweden wanted to drag me into that. Prussia and Poland are at war. We are at war with the Dutch. And our army is now set up. Now we almost got a full 20 stack. But, yeah. In terms of money, we're making loads. Now we're gonna put that to work to make more money for us. In terms of building stuff here in France, home region of France, I don't see a lot of it. In terms of research, it's going to be really important to be on a up and up on that. So it would be nice to build a royal observatory, but at the same time, I'm going to need troops here. Would be nice to be able to build cannons. So we're gonna build that. In terms of troops, it takes about 1 turn. We can build 4 per turn. I'm gonna hold off building large amount of troops here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna build the iron mine. And, oh yeah, we're already building that. And in terms of that, we're already at 44%. That's good. In terms of building anything here, you know what? I made a mistake there in the beginning. We're gonna correct that. The cheapest unit, we're gonna buy. I should have bought that one earlier. Then march out, build the factory. Not the factory, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. The thing. The thingamajig. Right, you know it. You know. Let's not. Right, back there. Navy. Navy's together. So now I've got a nice set of 6 ships. If Britain declares war, I can attack this fleet. But right now, my interest is in raiding. Oh shit! No, no, no! Oh, ta ta ta, ta ta ta! No, no, Monsieur! Oh, I should have started the raiding as soon as possible. The United Provinces make. See what they make there. They make 5,000 in trade. I can loot a lot of that with my ships. So we're missing out on a lot of economic stuff right there. Pious. Not really interested in you. Any more moves to make? We're 6 turns away from that because it's only gone 1 turn. Anyone that wants a trade agreement with France? Pope, please. He wants technology and load of money. And it's a little shit state. It's not going to make me a lot of money, is it? In terms of trade. Trade with Sweden is blocked. No, no Swedish fur is coming to us. I think we're selling fur as well, right? I think I've got some trappers in North America. But some of that Swedish moose stuff is always nice, perhaps. Probably not. Although, historically, Sweden did produce a lot of quality iron. I remember watching a, it was a program on Discovery, back when Discovery actually ran proper history programs. And they ran one about a lot of sunken ships. And so they identified one as French, and the reason they identified it, that it was French, was because it had Swedish cannons, which seems rather odd, but the natural purity in iron in Sweden is so high naturally. I think it occurs in Spain too, so that meant that, you know, Swedish iron was superior quality, especially to the French one, which was quite poor. So the French would use their iron to make cannonballs, but they wanted high quality for the cannons so it doesn't explode, so they got those cannons from Sweden. Sweden's exported a lot of iron, steel, and copper, and all sorts of materials for a very long time. We weren't really out-competited until the Industrial Revolution, where the British were able to, turn their impure pig iron into steel just by, the mechanical process of being able to build machines that pump in, a lot of air into the furnace to really, heat it up to the point where you'd burn away all the impurities. And stuff like that. Side note, right? Let's end turn and see if we can't come to the first battle in this series. Turn 2, no surprise. Great Britain declares war on us. We are wealthier, but in terms of power, we're about equal. I'm actually going to call on my allies because it's a bit different calling on the tiny Dutch. I'm sorry, Dutch, but you go and take your clogs somewhere else. But there's a league of difference in between you and the British Empire. So I am actually going to call my allies in on this. And Spain joins me. No surprise maybe that Spain is the only one to join me. The other two are recent allies, both of which saw me turn down the Ottomans. Especially for the Mughal Empire, that would be reasonable to turn down the alliance. And same with Prussia, not really interested to start a war with Great Britain, since they need to hold their trade open as they're fighting the Polish. Have they conquered any territory? I don't know. We'll check after the end turn. We have an opportunity to intercept the British fleet. Now we are stronger than them, but I'm not super confident. Now it could be that I make a huge mistake by not fighting the battle right now, and that he will draw his fleet together, because I know he's got another fleet up here, I think. Ooh, am I gonna risk it? You know what? I'm gonna be a bastard. I'm gonna save, but then I'm gonna risk it because I want to start off with a field battle rather than a naval battle. You know what? I very much changed my mind. I will fight this battle. However, we will only do it as a cinematic, battle, because I need to save time for the actual field battle against the Dutch. So off we go. To hopefully capture part of the English fleet and sink the rest of it. Well, that just happened. At least I got 5 ships left, but I lost the best one. The Admiral exploded, as you saw. The enemy Admiral exploded as well, and the smaller boat sank. The last boat I captured, but somehow it didn't register, so they still have 1 ship that managed to get away somehow. So, well, clearly not. He sank. Well, all the troops, at least, that was massing to get across the channel, they got nowhere to go now. The Dutch are actually bold enough to attack us straight on. They are intercepted by the Spanish forces, and we will come to their aid. None of our cannons will make it to the battle, but the Spanish got 2, so I think that's enough. We outnumber them by about 2 to 1. So that should do pretty well. With that said, let's go into battle. And so, the battle is underway. My army has managed to make it onto the field. The Spanish are actually dealing some defeats to the Dutch. It's mostly through their pikemen, which is not too unsurprising. My cavalry has already gone out and taken out their artillery, as it was threatening my troops as they entered the field. My army is setting up. We've got 2 lines of infantry, followed up by a unit of pikemen, and then the militia in the back, 2 general on the flanks. We got enemy pikemen, actually 2 units of enemy pikemen moving through the woods. Pikemen are really deadly, like we will know soon enough. I'm going to order 1 pike unit to deal with this one, and I'm actually going to order the generals to join in there. Meanwhile, the line infantry should make short work of the small unit, and I will conduct a major cavalry charge through here against the enemy. But first, we need to stop these pikes out in the woods. I'm going to do that by, we're gonna have the generals ride up here and shoot at him. I'm gonna try and shoot as much as possible on him, but then my pike unit will strike. Alright, we'll let the lines fire for a bit. Spanish pikes dealt another blow. I mean, the thing is, pike regiments absolutely dominate in the early part of the game. I don't know if that's going to change as it goes along. I'm trying to shoot as much as possible after this one. He moved away. The Spanish are firing cannons after him, and it's kind of almost hitting us. Alright, we need to get rid ourselves of this, so that my infantry formation can advance on the rest of the Spanish force. Oh, I note the enemy pike is on the move. Our line is advancing, the pikes are attacking. We got the Spanish pike coming in to aid us. This area was enveloped. We got the lancers and the cavalry fighting over there. And then we sent in a cavalry unit over here. Thing is, oh, they're about to come into charge. The generals will aid out by firing into the flank here. So I think I should win it. I should win this fight, but might be barely. This regiment looks to be giving way, and with the added force of us shooting, actually the pike is probably doing the most of the damage to the enemy general's bodyguard. This looks like a pretty good fight, actually. I'm not sure if we got... Yeah, we can still fire at them. Somehow we kind of charged in the middle and split the unit. My generals doing good work firing onto that. Oh, they're shattered. Then you can hold fire. Pikes, go ahead and slaughter them. Enemy general dead. Cavalry will be ordered to follow after and slaughter those. Hold fire. I mean, we're always shooting at our own men, so who cares, really? There's enough peasants in the countryside that I can train, put a wig on. We were successful. My battalion stayed firm. Now, what we didn't see was the devastating effect of a pike unit on musket infantry. But we kinda saw it, really, what with the Spanish pike unit, what they did to the Dutch out here. You can't see much of it, but trust me, pike units are completely overpowered in terms of melee against these units. Could be because we don't have bayonets yet, which would be understandable, but still it's an absolute slaughter. A devastating victory for our side. Now, we did outnumber the enemy 2-1, but that's war for you. We didn't bring our cannons, and still we managed to crush them. We lost about 800 men, compared to the enemy, who lost 2,200, leaving only 171 men left. And we didn't team kill that many, only about 100 men. Not too bad. Even with the little fight they did, only finding one unit there at the very end, pike units, well, the pike unit managed to get 246 kills. This is something we probably have to get used to, seeing the pike unit in the top. It's kind of normally in Empire, the pike unit is god awful. Not good for anything, not even taking down cavalry. Here, it's like, I don't know, the phalanx of Alexander the Great. Even better. But there we have that. The Dutch defeated. They thought they were clever in preemptive our strike by attacking out, but that cost them their entire force. Since I managed to cram in a naval battle and a land battle, let's go over really quickly here before we end what has transpired. Mentioned in dispatches, so that's good for one of our generals. Units recruited in Lower Louisiana. Right, we can send him over to take a look at the farm, and we get what we can choose in between coffee and sugar. And right now coffee is 12, sugar is 22, so it's increased quite a bit since we started. That's good. And then heroic death for our admiral. Spectacular, as the ship exploded. Now I do want to bring them into port to repair them. But I think we'll actually do more for raiding the trade. Let's take a look here. So right now we're making 9,000 per turn. I'm gonna start raiding the trade right here. Or maybe I should do it closer here. I don't think the Dutch... No, the Dutch aren't getting anything there. Great Britain is, though. Doesn't really matter. Where do we get the most? Doesn't matter. But now we're up to 10,000. It probably would have been better if the ships would have been at full strength. But at least we're making money. We lost just a handful of troops. It still cost me... It's going to cost me 1,000 to replenish that. We're going to lay siege. And also note that the Spanish... I'm guessing it's a Spanish spy has been in there and burnt the conservatory. There's very little for the Dutch to be done. So we should stand victorious. And the poor Spanish has to repair their port. Very good. Now we still got money and stuff left, but I think we're gonna end it here. In terms of North America, we haven't seen... There is an advance of troops here. So I definitely need to speed up the recruitment here. I've got money for that. And as I outlined earlier, my ships can block entrances. So that will work out well for me. As long as nothing comes from up north. Now obviously we've left the Louisiana territory completely unguarded. But I'm banking on the fact that just as I can't move on the British, they can't move on me. Now they are allied with the Algonquin, so they could move through here. I'm hoping they don't, and that they focus on the Montreal, Quebec area. With that said, I think it's high time we end this, because this has probably been quite a long episode, given what I have outlined, but we are at good... I think it's a very good start, and we've got a lot to build on from here. With that said, I'll say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!